Hello and welcome to another AGK tutorial. This is back to basics, just for showing people how to use variables and arrays. So people who haven't coded before, this is going to help you. People who have coded before and know all about it, fair enough, you're not going to be interested in this one, I don't think. But you can keep on watching anyway, I don't mind. So just starting off, we've got part 1, which is here, and it just basically prints 1 plus 2 equals 3, as we can see. Simple stuff, not very useful in itself, but that's just to demonstrate variables. So I've got to part 2. Now that's doing exactly the same thing, but you'll see it's printing these variables here. So you've got a equals 1, b equals 2, c equals a plus b, and then here I'm going print string a plus another plus sign in speech marks plus string b plus equals in speech marks plus string c, and that will basically print the string of that, of a, which is 1, and b, which is 2, and then c, which is obviously them added up. If you were to just simply do that, obviously it's not going to be right, it's just going to print the final value because it's just adding all those up and printing it. That's the only reason I put that particular part in, just to show you the difference. So that's just basically getting a string of that and just displaying it all nicely on screen, and you can change that to anything you like. So 10, and then we'll put that back there, and all of a sudden we've got a different number. Works a bit like a spreadsheet, I suppose, in that respect. But that's enough of that one. That's again very simple stuff, very basic variable stuff. Now part 3 is with an array. So I'm making an array called numbers with 10 elements in there, or 11 if you count 0, but I'm not counting 0 at the minute. Go through a little loop, 1 to 10, load the number n into numbers, which will give it 1 to 10, and then basically through another loop here to print it. So you can see just got all that information there stored in one array rather than 10 different variables. And part 4, which is the last one, I'm going to have to just rem this in because it will interfere, because I'm using the same array name. That's not running it, it still tries to compile it. So rem this out. I don't actually think I need to, but I'm going to anyway there. Right, part 4. Have I remmed it in at the top there? I have. Part 4, I'll just run that, and you can see that's still got the numbers. It's got some names added in now and some just random zeros or ones for a nice little touch, just to show you can mix and match and add as many as you want really, and use it. You could have address, name, all that sort of details, or you could use it for energy or health, an RPG, that sort of thing. So basically what I'm doing is I'm defining a type called info, then you've got all these little sub variables in there that it uses, number, name and status. I've set those to as strings because, as integers, because they're integers, just single numbers, and name obviously is a string because it's going to be using this here. I'm dimensioning the numbers array the same as before, but I'm adding as info, which adds the info type to the array. This here's the name string that I'm going to be grabbing the names out of. Name count, this actually works out how many names are in this string. So you use count string tokens, name dollars, which is that, and the delimiter, which is space in between each one, and that will count how many there are, which is 10. And then I'm using that to count through the 10 different things, add the number to it, add the name out of this string using getString token, again with names, space is the delimiter again, and n is the actual number of the name, and then that's just a random number there just to add a bit extra to it. And then you go through a little loop here and then go through this again with the strings. You've got to make them strings. If you don't, once you start adding these things in, you can just print a variable or an array directly, but it gives you the contents of the variable, the array. But if you want to actually add things in like a space, and that to make it look a bit neater, you need to actually convert them all to strings. Then you'll notice this one here, it's not a string. I've not converted it to a string simply because it's already a string there, because I've already set it as string, so I don't need to bother with that one. And that basically is it. That's a simple introduction to arrays. I hope you understand what types are like for and what they can be used for now. Obviously you could have a multi-dimensional array if you wanted it, but that's normally for, say, a grid. If you had a grid and you want like a chessboard or something and you wanted information for each different segment of the board, you could have a multi-dimensional array, something like 10, for instance, and then you'd be able to actually sort of go, well, this is 3,3, and that will grab the relevant information out of 3,3. But I haven't really gone into that there. So that's about it. Again, like I say, it's pretty basic, only for beginners. But if you liked it, leave a like. If you're not a subscriber, then subscribe if you want. And until next time, I'll catch you later.